Okay, 2025. It's a new year, new beginnings, I hope. A new chance to do the things that I've always wanted to do. Cheers to new beginnings. Okay, so this year I need to set big goals. That's the only way I'll be able to reach them, but I need to keep them reasonable as well. I don't need to set goals that are out of proportion. Okay, let's start with the first one. Make 5,000. Meditate 5 minutes. Read 20 pages. Learn to create websites. Start working out. Yep, I think this is enough. Okay, I've done this, this, but I haven't done this. Damn, I haven't gone to the gym yet. But to be fair, I don't even know what gym to go to. Okay, let's see what gyms are nearby. Okay, there's a gym nearby. It's 20 minutes away. 20 minutes. But it's quite cold outside, you know. Okay, I'll go to the gym when it gets dark. But to kill time, let me play something. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do today is go to the gym. Let me just make sure I have everything. Okay, so apart from going to the gym, what else do I have to do today? Yeah, the room does look dirty. Okay, maybe I should clean it before I go. Yeah, I think I should do that. It's almost been 2 months and I still haven't gone to the gym. Like 2 months. What's wrong with me? I always procrastinate like all the time. I used to do this all the time last year as well, and I told myself I was going to stop this year, but okay. Berating myself won't do anything, so I guess I'll just go to the gym tomorrow. Good day, Mapaloo. Hope this email reaches you well. The deadline for the trial website we asked you to make is due in 2 weeks. We will appreciate if you can have it done before then. Feel free to send us any drafts as you make progress. Okay, I've had 3 months to get this done. 3 months. I'm left with 2 weeks and I haven't done anything yet, but all I need now is to log in for 2 weeks and it will be done. No distractions. Okay, let's start. This music isn't it. It just isn't doing it. Okay, title. Let's call it Lock In. But what songs can I add? Notification from Telegram. Nah, it's probably not important. Notification from WhatsApp. Okay. Wanted to find out if you're free in the evening. Could we go to a cafe or something? Maybe at 6 p.m. Well, I'm not particularly free, but I guess I could go to a cafe for an hour. Just an hour. So I told this guy to be here at 6 and he's late. But to be honest, we shouldn't be here in the first place anyway. The deadline is in a few days and I've barely done a thing. But okay. I'll get some work done when I get back. Don't even know how I found myself in this mess. I should find somewhere to sit. Damn, this place is cold. But I bet these other people don't feel the same coldness that I feel. I mean, look at them. It seems to me that everyone has someone. Literally everyone, even that dog over there. Everyone, except me. Maybe it's because I'm in this country. I literally feel like I'm the only black person on the street right now. Is there anyone else? Nah, probably not. I definitely am the only black person on the street right now. But even if I was in Zambia, I still wouldn't have people to be around. I bet no one would even notice if I disappeared for a week. I'll reply later. I've been in Russia for 4 years now. 4 years. And I still don't have any friends. Maybe this book will make a difference. This might be the perfect chance to use the information I've learned so far. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if these guys like me. I think I heard them say something bad about me last week. But I'm not really sure of that anyway. Okay, let me reply. I guess they didn't even try to invite me this time. Maybe I should just reply to these messages. But what do I even say? Just type something. Anything. Nah, this isn't it. If you've gotten this far, I don't think there's need for me to explain what the purpose of this video is, because you already know. You've lived it. Stuck in a seemingly unending loop, a loop of procrastination, distraction, self-sabotage, you name it. And the worst part is, we know the problem. We know we're supposed to be studying instead of scrolling on our phones. We know we're supposed to head out to the gym instead of playing video games. We know what our problems are. But even then, nothing changes. We're told self-awareness is the key to change. But if that were true, we wouldn't be stuck here in the first place. The truth is, awareness alone is useless. And that's the real problem. But before we dive into this problem, let's figure out what awareness actually is and why it matters. Alright, so awareness sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Here we have it. Essentially, all it is your ability to perceive, to understand, and to be conscious of what's happening within you and around you. But awareness isn't just one thing. It's not binary, like something that you have or don't have. It's kind of like a spectrum. I have no idea how to draw a spectrum, but I'm gonna draw a line. And so awareness is kind of like a spectrum, and each of us falls somewhere on that line. There are certain people who are really good at perceiving things within them and around them. Others are better at understanding emotions and situations, while some just find it easier to be in the present moment, to be aware of their thoughts, and to not be overwhelmed by them. So yeah, certain people are more aware than others, but that's not something that's fixed in nature. It should be noted that awareness is a very broad concept and it goes way beyond self-awareness. There are other types of awareness, and there are quite a number. Some could be considered to be part of self-awareness, while others simply coexist with it. Self-awareness. Self-awareness helps you understand yourself, your emotions, your thoughts, your body, and even your sense of purpose. But life isn't just about you alone. External awareness. External awareness influences how you understand situations, people, culture, and even media, and that shapes how you interact with the world. Being aware of what's around you is just as important as being aware of what's within you. The problem is, most people only focus on one or the other. There are some people who are deeply in tune with their own emotions, but at the same time, they're quite oblivious with how their actions affect others. Other people are like very hyper aware of social situations, but have no clue why they feel stuck in life. I'm not going to go into depth into all these types of awareness in this video. Maybe I will in another one. But my point is, it's kind of like a really huge spectrum, and each of us have varying levels of each type of awareness. The issue here is, awareness without action is useless. Yeah, you can know that something needs to change. I'd argue and say that we all know what needs to change. But until we actually do something about it, nothing changes. And that's the real problem. Many people mistake awareness for progress. Many people, including myself. I think this is the loop that many people find themselves in, especially after they start any form of self-improvement or personal development. There's a period of time where all you're doing is consuming and trying to learn, and you end up becoming aware of like a whole lot of things, some things that you never even knew existed. And you see that as you making progress in a way, but it's not. It's all an illusion. That's all it is. People think realizing they procrastinate means they'll stop. They think knowing a habit is toxic means they'll quit. They think watching self-improvement videos like this one means they're actually improving, but they're not. It's all smoke and mirrors. I mean, how many times have we told ourselves that we're going to do something, and we even go to the point of preparing to do that very thing, but we still don't do it? If we're being truthful, I think that happens a whole lot more than it should. The theory comes easy, but the practice is sold separately. You see, awareness, or the act of being aware, is nothing but a seed. Your awareness is as insignificant as the seed that I hold in my hand right now. I have no idea whether you can see it, but I hope you can. A seed doesn't grow unless you plant it and provide it with certain conditions, like water, sunlight, and good soil. And the same goes for your seeds of awareness. In our lives, these seeds need certain action for them to turn into anything substantial. And the only thing that you need to start is a commitment to help those seeds grow. In an ideal world, these seeds would grow on their own. And if they did, awareness would lead to action without any extra effort. But that doesn't happen in the world that we live in. And so the question is, why? Why don't we do what we're supposed to do when we become aware of it? Well, the answer is fairly simple. I know we can't see it, but there's actually a gap between knowing something and doing something about it. I could give you countless examples here. There are people who read countless books but still don't follow through with anything they learn. There are people who know the need to exercise but still don't do it. Even the people who watch countless hours of self-improvement content but don't change their behavior. You might be one of the people that I just described. I know I'm one of them. I'm not perfect, of course, but there are quite a number of reasons to why this gap here exists. And some of the reasons are scientific. The first one being cognitive ease. Your brain feels satisfied just by recognizing the problem. And so it tricks you into thinking you're making progress towards solving that problem. In a literal sense, you are making progress. Like recognizing something is wrong is a win. But knowing that problem is where most people end. Besides, we even have sayings like, half the battle is knowing the enemy, or diagnosis is half the cure. Like, that's the point. It's literally the point. Recognizing the problem only solves half the problem. And so the second point is fear of uncertainty. Uncertainty. Taking action means stepping into the unknown, meaning doing something that you haven't done before. Doing things without knowing what the outcome will look like, whether things will work out or not. But in the book Awareness by Anthony DeMello, he makes a point by saying it's not the unknown that we fear, because we can't fear what isn't known. He says that what we actually fear is loss of the known. We fear losing what we already know. We fear losing the certainty of what the situation currently is. And the moment that we do something to change it, it becomes uncertain. In the previous video on this channel, I talked about how the comfort zone is simply something that is known. And so the fear of uncertainty comes from the prospect of having to move from what we already know to what we are not aware of. Having to move from what we deem safe to what we aren't aware of. Awareness is safe, but change of any sort doesn't feel so safe. The third point is avoidance mechanisms. I'm not talking about the avoidant attachment style here, like all humans avoid discomfort. That's just how we're wired. And so we avoid discomfort even though it's necessary for growth. And most times, if not all times, discomfort and growth are necessary for the change you want in your life. To an extent, I would say social media also has a role to play in this as well. And so that's the fourth point. You feel productive on a low-key superior. Oh damn. You feel productive, and on the low, you feel like you're superior than others just because you watch videos like this while other people watch Netflix. And creators will hype you up because you're one of them. You're one of the top 10%. You're one of the top 1%. I don't know what figure they use. I'm not really sure. But you watching content like this without taking it on board, without using it, doesn't mean anything. You're literally on the same level as the people that you look down on. The only difference between you and them is that you spend your time differently. They might get some sense of entertainment, and you will too. Maybe you might feel productive, but at the end of the day, if you don't do anything with the info that you picked up, you are just the same as they are. But ultimately, it all comes down to your perception. And that is the fifth point. You might have a perception of something. It could be anything, whether good or bad. And even though you become aware of other perceptions of it, perceptions that might be better than yours, you still don't take them on board. And so the question comes up again, why? Because awareness isn't the issue. I think we've figured that out already. The issue here is resistance. Not any external resistance, but your own internal resistance is what gets in the way. Most times it's hard to spot that you're resisting the idea of change or the idea of trying something new. You can't really tell, but it appears in very little and subtle ways. One of them being through your fear of failure. I'm probably going to talk about fear of failure 1,000 times on this channel because this is what I relate to the most. I'm going to need your attention for what I'm about to say, so please pay attention. See, I have a problem when it comes to locus of control. Locus of control is basically who you believe is responsible for your successes and for your failures. So if you've got an internal locus of control, you believe that everything is in your hands, and if you fail, it's your fault. If your locus of control is more external, you believe life or fate or even destiny or like other people control what happens to you. I kind of lean towards an internal locus of control. And because I believe I should always be in control, failing feels personal. If I mess up, I don't take it as bad luck. I don't take it as my relatives in Africa trying to do me dirty or something. I don't. I just like take it as my fault. It's my fault. It's all my fault. And that fear is paralyzing. What's funny is I've known this for a while. I've been aware of it for quite some time. I'm a Christian, but at the same time, I struggle with knowing which one of my problems I should give to God, especially like the ones that feel incredibly difficult to deal with. I've started realizing that part of change is knowing when to push forward and when to let go. Some struggles need effort, they need you to keep going, but others need surrender. The problem is, it's never easy to know which is which, and when you're in the middle of it, there's no manual, there are no safety instructions. You can vent to your friends, you can ask them for advice, you can even talk to your parents, like that's if you speak to them like that. But even they won't be able to give you concrete advice. All you get is the weight of uncertainty and just hope that you're making the right decision, because ultimately it will be your decision. It won't be because your friends thought that, it won't be because your parents see things like that. Those are their beliefs, those experiences. They can tell you what they think, but at the end of the day, it's your decision. And I kind of understand why I feel this way, like at least to a certain extent. Sometimes I get to think that people just go around saying things like, oh, I'm gonna leave this to God and pray. I kind of think that's a way for them to avoid responsibility and like get the problem off their hands, even though they're like perfectly capable of solving it. But I don't know. I mean, I've come to learn that there are truly like some situations that are completely out of your control. I'm experiencing one right now. No, not here, of course, but yeah, you get the point. And so, to an extent, I do understand. This can be a whole topic of discussion in the comments, so you can tell me what you think. But my issue with locus of control goes way beyond my spiritual life. A few months ago, I started swimming lessons and I was incredibly afraid of swimming in the deep end. It wasn't the fear of drowning that I had, it was something more like a loss of control. I think that's what would lead me to drown. It's also the reason why I don't drink alcohol. I see how people lose themselves when they get drunk, and I don't like to imagine myself that way. Like, it's absolutely terrifying. But even when it comes to other things, I still feel the same way. Like with this YouTube channel, for example, I feel the fear creeping in. It's like, what if no one watches my videos? What if people think it's trash, like the videos are bad or something? What if all the effort that I put into like researching, scripting, recording, editing, like what if all of that is wasted? I don't just feel fear. I fear proving to myself that maybe I wasn't good enough to begin with. Fear of failure keeps us in a very dormant state. And the worst part is we don't even realize it's happening. Sometimes we just call it waiting for the right time. Oh, I'm gonna wait for the right time. Sometimes we say, well, like getting ready or something, or things happen at their own time, you know, like everything pans out the way it should do. But I think sometimes that's just fear disguised as logic. And the thought of that fear is enough to keep us in our comfort zones, which is literally the second way resistance shows itself in our lives. The brain likes what's familiar, because if it's familiar, it means it's safe. And if it's safe, it means we don't face discomfort. And like, that's basically your brain's main goal in life, to not face discomfort. Leaving our comfort zone means confronting our shadow. And your shadow is made up of the fears, the beliefs, and the habits that you've buried because you're uncomfortable to face them. Think of it this way. Your comfort zone is a brightly lit path. Like, it's brightly lit. It's literally all you see. While your shadow is found in the dark woods that like surround that path. Yeah, you can occasionally go off track and glimpse at something that's there in the darkness, like maybe a shadow of anger, an insecurity, or a desire that you might not be very aware of. But going into these dark woods requires that you actually leave the comfort zone. But who on earth allows themselves to just randomly go into a dark place? No one. My point exactly. Ironically, sometimes we actively self-sabotage our own efforts to change. Third point, self-sabotage. Self-sabotage doesn't have a face. You don't really see it when it's happening initially. But it does leave its fingerprints around. And you can see it manifest in like procrastination, making poor choices, and even setting yourself up for failure. I mean, self-sabotage is hard to talk about because it's very complex, but essentially it stems from deep-rooted insecurities. It's either you believe you don't deserve success, I mean like success in whatever context you're working with, or you believe failure is inevitable. That's how messed up self-sabotage is. With this section, I might have given you new seeds of awareness. And if I have, I would really appreciate if you could press that small little button in the right corner there that says subscribe. But before you start thinking of what to do with them, you need to know that there are some rules that you need when it comes to dealing with awareness. So I'm trying to always include a section of rules of engagement in my videos to kind of like give you a more pragmatic way to go about your self-development. I know self-improvement videos can get a little too preachy sometimes, so I think things like this actually help you navigate the chaos that comes with trying to improve your life, because it truly is chaotic and you need to have concrete ways to move through the turbulence. Given awareness is such a wide subject, I can't make up all the rules. This list isn't going to be everything that you might need when it comes to dealing with awareness, but I think these are some that are worth mentioning. The first one. The first step is acknowledging that awareness is the starting line and not the finish line. Knowing the problem is step one, but action should already be step zero. People treat awareness or being aware like it's an achievement, but it's not. It's merely just a participation trophy. So before you celebrate knowing better, you need to prove that you can do better. Second point. Feelings are futile. If you wait until you're ready, you'll be waiting forever. Your mind will always find a reason to delay, a reason to hesitate, a reason to say no now. But the truth is, you'll never be 100% ready. Never. So why not just start now anyway? Third point. Out of all the rules, I think this is the one that I need to pick up the most, because perfectionism is something that I've had a constant struggle with in my life. I think it's safe to say that it's been the bane of my existence here on earth. At some point in life, sometime last year actually, I thought I beat it, but I came to realize that you can never truly escape it. It will always be there in everything you do, but you can learn to manage it. The way I did it was by adopting this motto: a bad attempt is better than no attempt. It's derived from the saying, better late than never, and applied to this context of action. I had to accept that my first YouTube video was going to be bad. My first gym session was going to be bad. Even my first exam results here in like university in Russia. And guess what? They were all bad. All of them. But if I didn't make more attempts of all of those, you probably wouldn't even be watching this video right now, because I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be the person that I am right now. Step 4. This point was inspired by something that I saw on Twitter. I'm going to have the photo on your screen right now, but if I remember it correctly, it said something like, we do this not because it's easy, but because we thought it was easy. Working out is hard, be it in the gym or whatever you're into. Making YouTube videos is hard. Staying consistent is hard. Even starting is hard. Like, there's a lot of friction that comes into doing anything hard. We don't avoid hard things because they're hard. We avoid them because they feel too big. They feel overwhelming. If something feels too big or too like uncertain or too exhausting, the thought of it alone is enough to overwhelm you. And so the play here is to make it stupidly easy. You have to make the goal sound like stupidly easy. It should sound stupid to even set the goal of doing like such a thing. And so instead of saying, I need to work out or I need to start going to the gym, the easiest thing you can say is, I need to put on my gym shoes. I need to put on my gym clothes. That should be your goal. Small wins make big wins easier. It would be easy for you to just follow through with going to the gym if you get into the attire for doing so. And so the first step should be too easy that you can't ignore it. Point 5. For point 5, your self-awareness is going to come in handy. Whenever you think about something, especially if it's important, you're going to hear a voice in your head that's going to say, I don't have the time, or I'm gonna do it later. But here's where you come in and ask yourself, is this a real reason? Or is it resistance pretending to be logic? Because most times, it is. And point 6, the very last point. This is the last point, but it's equally as important as the rest. Given we're on this path, Like we're trying to get somewhere, right? Our goals are always going to be different depending on who we are as people, of course. But one thing's for certain, no matter how busy you are or how hectic your days get, you could always find time to at least take one step towards what you want. Progress doesn't require huge leaps. All it needs is consistent movement. Consistency will look different for all of us. I mean, it could look something like this, or it can be something like this. For some it might look like this, for others it might look like that. But as long as a step is taken, it counts as a step in the right direction. So it doesn't matter what it is. It could be one push-up, one sentence written, one phone call made. It doesn't have to be big, but every day you need to reflect on whether you took that step, because one step is better than none. I think this is as simple as rules can go. But despite them being simple, there's still a cost if you don't follow them. The cost of inaction is never zero. Doing nothing still has consequences. The first one being you succumbing to the law of entropy. Entropy, simply put, is the slow decline that happens when you stop taking action. It's life's way of reminding us that nothing stays the same. Muscles atrophy if you don't use them. They become smaller, and your mind works the same way. So does your confidence and your discipline, and even your relationships. Ignore your body and watch it get weaker and weaker over the years. Ignore your perceived potential and watch yourself wonder where the good years went. Ignore your relationships and watch everyone drift away from you. And so, there's no such thing as maintenance. Neither is there a thing like constant balance. You're either moving forward or you're slipping backwards. Remember that. 2. The second point might come off as surprising, but your comfort zone actually shrinks. Like it actually gets smaller. If you avoid discomfort for long enough, even basic things start feeling overwhelming. A simple example here is when you stop doing something that you used to do before. Let's take something that many people would consider difficult, like doing 10 pull-ups. If you didn't exercise for a year and try to do them again, you probably wouldn't even get to one. It works the same way for other things too. I remember when I started this self-improvement thing and I kind of closed off from like making new connections and all. I'm already introverted, and so the whole idea of like staying on the grind lifestyle was kind of like a safe haven for me. But late 2024, I started trying to open up my social circle again, and it only dawned on me then that I now find it hard to make friends. Something that was easier to do back then became hard because I stopped doing it frequently. Like, I don't think I had any hobbies outside the whole personal development stuff. It was always like reading, going to the gym, like stuff like that, you know. And that kind of made me realize that nothing stays static, not even your comfort zone. So the more you avoid discomfort, the more easy things become hard too. Third point. Staying the same is hard. Changing is hard. The difference is, one of them gets you somewhere, while the other one only gets you regret. Fact is, you're always choosing the hard path, so you can at least choose the one that has a reward at the end of it. Because you can't escape discomfort by avoiding action. You just trade one pain for another. The pain of getting up early or the pain of falling behind. The pain of hard conversations or the pain of broken relationships. There's no escaping discomfort. And so the question is, which one is worth it? And to answer that question, you're going to need to know how to bridge the gap between awareness and action. Over the past half hour or so, I'm not really sure how many minutes this video is gonna take, we've broken down how self-awareness, or any type of awareness, is just one piece of the puzzle. And so if awareness isn't enough, then what is? Again, I've got 3 things. First one, understand before you fix. A lot of people think change is just about willpower. Just like forcing yourself to act right and everything is going to fall into place. But as I've tried to break down like some of my own bad habits over the years, I've realized something. The harder you try to force change, the more resistance you create. There's a quote from the book Awareness by Anthony DeMello that stuck with me. There's a line in there that goes like, anytime you renounce something, you are forever tied to the thing you renounced. The more you fight something, the more power you give to it. Real change doesn't come from fighting. It doesn't come from forcing yourself to be different. It comes from understanding. Understanding why you think act and feel the way that you do? Has it ever become apparent to you that the harder you try to force something out of your life, the stronger it pulls back? You could swear you're going to quit a bad habit, and you will be like, today is my last day, like, I'm never gonna do this again. And it's literally all you're going to be thinking about. And that's because you're fighting and not understanding. Assuming most of us struggle with procrastination, be inclusive. I would say instead of asking yourself why you keep procrastinating, ask yourself what's making me procrastinate in the first place? Is it fear? Is it overwhelm? Is it perfectionism? For me, it's usually like a combination of all of them. And in the past, like most times, I just thought I was lazy. I thought I wasn't just like serious, or I wasn't cut out to like do the stuff that I actually wanted to do. But looking at it from this perspective, I see that I was just overwhelmed by my own expectations. The issue wasn't that I didn't want to work or that I wasn't like cut out for it. The issue was I was afraid that my work wasn't going to be good enough. But even now, I still feel the need to procrastinate. And so I try to figure out what's the easiest way to go around whatever I'm dealing with. Sometimes there's no easy way. Like, it literally is what it is. But whenever you can, inaction is paralysis. Not moving equals decline. And none of us want that. So the goal is to lower resistance to action as much as you possibly can. Most people know exactly what they want to do, but they still don't do it. And that's because the first step feels way too big. And so before making the big commitment to something like going to the gym, the first simple and small commitment you could make is just wear your shoes. And instead of trying to fix your entire life in 3 months, like most people promise you, just commit to understanding one pattern about yourself today. Tiny steps bypass resistance, and it gets a whole lot easier to get the next thing done from there. And lastly, this one stands out the most for me. I think it's become more and more apparent to myself that I've struggled with consistency when it comes to YouTube and creating content in general. And I can say that one of the reasons to why I've been stuck is because I still saw myself as somebody who wasn't consistent. I saw myself as somebody who wasn't like good enough to make YouTube videos. I mean, I'm consistent in other things in life. I don't think it's too hard. But when it comes to content, I think I just haven't tapped into that part of myself yet, but I think I am now. And I say this because from the time I started making these like whiteboard videos, I've stopped trying to do things perfectly. I mean, it takes like a whole lot more energy to actually like do something like this for 30 minutes straight. And so I've stopped trying to just be like perfect or something, or like to do things like at 100% efficiency or like 100% perfection. All I'm trying to do now is be the type of person that shows up daily. And I think that's it. It's the same reason to why I've been consistent everywhere else, but not here. For other things, I already see myself as somebody who does those things consistently. I see myself as somebody who goes to the gym like 4 to 6 times per week. I see myself as somebody who reads books consistently. I see myself as someone who's constantly trying to improve. And the identity itself leads to the actions that I make. If you see yourself as someone who never follows through, you act accordingly. If you see yourself as somebody who does get things done, even in small ways, you act accordingly too, hence proving yourself right. So when you focus on identity over outcome, the actions just follow naturally. And as far as nature goes, I think it's safe to say that this video has run its race. And so right now, you have two choices. You could either walk away from this video and feel motivated for 10 minutes before going back to your old patterns, or you could take one step today, like right now. No grand plan, no waiting for the perfect moment, just one step. Because the cost of inaction is never zero. Entropy doesn't wait for you. Your comfort zone doesn't stay the same. And the type of person that you want to be slowly becomes a distant memory. That version of you is slipping away every day you don't take action. And so the last thing I'll ask you today is this. What's one thing you've been aware of for months but still haven't changed? And that's not a rhetorical question, like write it down, then do something about it today. Not tomorrow, but today. And if you made it this far, then you probably already know what needs to change. The only question is, what are you going to do about it? And if you find that question hard to answer, The last video I made was on how to start self-improvement again. That video is a lot more practical than this one, and so it will definitely help you in your attempts to break the loop. And if that isn't enough, I've put together 2 free resources that might help you. The first one is Seeds of Awareness, which is a guide to developing deeper self-awareness and understanding hidden patterns shaping your life. The second one is Breaking the Loop, which is a step-by-step guide to bridging the gap between awareness and action so that you can finally break the loop and build real momentum. In short, Seeds of Awareness is about understanding yourself, and Breaking the Loop is about taking action on that awareness. I would recommend you give a look at both of them. You'll find them linked in the description. This brings us to our rather timely end. I hope you enjoyed this one, because I did, and if you did too, I'll see you in the next one.